And there was one where there was a poem written there about Rwanda.
Yes.
By Rene Gabriel.
Yes.
Yeah, talking about how beautiful Rwanda is and the beautiful peace. You know, one of the best poetry there too. Talking about the hills and how Rwanda was beautiful before the war, and is that beauty is still there, but was talking about how people can come together, to rebuild, the country,
Because technically he was born in Congo and his parents fled from Rwanda. Yeah. And I was going further, and he mentioned that something happened, like a doctor he went to the hospital or something, the doctor made a mistake with his...
Yeah, well, that's one of the poets too, yeah. If you read his, what do you call it, the Bible, you'll find out that, it's part of the struggle of Africans, and he was injected with the vaccine at that time, but I know there will be a time when all these authors will come together and everybody will talk from his own perspective. Yeah.
Yes, I know like so many authors. Well, I don't know which one to start, but I'm going to start with this guy named Mafro Bonso. Okay, he's born in Ghana, graduate of International Studies at York University. Can you tell me more about him? Like, he seems like he's accomplishing. Like, if I could show the viewers about him.
Yeah, Mafro Bonso is one of the members of the African Network, one of the early members of the African Network, and once he was the economic director, the director for finance, before he became the president of Ghana after I left. And he was able to project the organization to the next level before we had another woman president. So his poetry is talking about Africa. And if you have read, I don't know if I've gone through the new review that was done about this book by Yvonne Marie Philippe, Knowing and Discovering Africa. You will see where Yvonne talked about that poetry called She Cries by Mafro Bonso. He says it brings a universal resonance to the work. So it rather sends out a call as it entreats on behalf of Mother Africa. That Africans around the world should come together in remembrance, defense, and understanding of home. You see, that's exactly one of the key points for that poetry.
So what comes to mind, when you think about Africa?
Well, as an African, right, I would talk from my own perspective. But even at that, I want to quote for you what one of the reviewers of this book, Anthology of African Poetry, said. Her name is Yvonne Philippe. She said that, like the question you asked me, what comes to mind when somebody thinks about Africa? For her, Africa is beauty. Africa is richness. Africa is majesty. Africa is sadness. Africa is hunger. Africa is trouble and struggle. And Africa is also the beginning. You know what I mean? So, wrapping up, from this perspective, you find out that Africa has got a lot to offer to the rest of the world. And has a lot to offer to itself. But it's unfortunate that most of the times, most of the things that people talk about Africa, or the way they perceive of Africa, is mostly in the negative area. Africa, as I said before, has about 1 billion people on the planet. And what does that mean? Even in economics, what does it mean? It means that this 1 billion people is a big market for people who want to go into businesses and marketing and so on. And then when we talk about mineral resources of all kinds, Africa has got it all. So, and for me, and that is the reason why as a poet, right, we think, that at this moment, poetry can also do us some good in terms of enlightening people about Africa. Because poetry, the poetic language is like a magic, and its symbolism is, even though it could be different, As you can see, the eight poets in there had explained about their poetry and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, we are talking about one particular continent called Africa from different perspectives.
From different perspectives.
Exactly, yeah.